Hi there, I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent Training. Welcome to our Friday live question and answer class, where you can ask your questions regarding American English pronunciation, American accent, intonation, anything that you need a little help with to help you improve your overall personal and professional communication in American English. Last week, I was answering some questions at the beginning, covering some questions that came up in comments on my videos. And I'm loving getting all of your comments, especially your requests for our Word of the Day series. And I have a long list of words I'm working my way through, making you videos each day to talk about pronunciation of those words. I appreciate your patience. I know you ask for something and it takes me a while to get to your word just because there's been so many requests. But there's been a few requests that don't really fall into that Word of the Day format so easily, people asking about a phrase or another type of question. So I'm going to cover a couple of those here at the beginning of class, and then I'll take all of your questions so you can type them in the comments at any time. I also wanted to let you know that beginning last week, and I hope going forward, I plan to put a comment after the video with timestamps for each of the different words I'm talking about in the class, because oftentimes people will ask me for a word I know I've discussed in this class, and I don't mind repeating, of course. I think it's helpful for people to hear the information, and I have a lot of new viewers and new subscribers, but I also want to be able to send you to a video where I've talked about your word and give you a specific timestamp, since these classes do tend to run 30 minutes to 45 minutes, so you can get to your answer. So look for that in the comments for the past live streams. When you're on the channel page, you can see there's a playlist called Past Live Streams, and then you can search and browse for those answers. Hi, nice to see you, Darlene and Rose and Dana. Wonderful. So many channel members here today. That's great. And by the way, channel members, we aren't going to have our Sunday class this week. We'll resume that next Sunday, but with the holiday and a lot of things going on, we're going to skip one for once. So the first phrase I wanted to talk about was requested by a viewer, and they wanted to know about this phrase, is this the? And we talked about something similar last week where I think we were talking about these things going from the Z to the TH. And I think we have the same pattern happening here where we have the Z sounds, the S sounds, and the TH sounds. It makes this a challenging combination of sounds. So I would say, is this the, thinking about it as a Z to TH, is this. So I'm moving from the Z, moving my tongue forward for the TH, is this, and then I have to come back again for the S and then back out for the TH. Is this the, is this the? And so, first of all, I may have a challenge between the S's and THs, and then knowing where my voice is on and my voice is not on. And I would just break this down and see where it falls apart. So is this moving forward? Is that the most challenging? Or this, the, moving from voice TH to S to voice TH. And just going slowly and not necessarily expecting that it's going to easily sequence or that you have to say it all that quickly. Is this the? If there's a little bit of a break between to get the accurate placement, you should be able to eventually speed up and more accurately move between those. And I would say practicing similar patterns like was this, or this, well, this and the is less common to have the S. So because if you had a verb like is or was before that, it would be the Z instead of this. At any rate, was this, is this, does this, says this, etc. Going from the Z to the TH, you can get a lot of different patterns that will help you with that connectivity. Okay, so thank you for that request, and I'll be directing you to your answer in the comments. And then one other one I wanted to talk about was the phrase among us. They requested a video for Among Us. And I'll just break down the sounds. And again, we practice individual words and phrases, but practicing things like Among Us together, it might be the combination that's challenging for you. So Among Us, is probably typically going to have second syllable stress. Among always will have second syllable stress, but overall in the phrase we'll probably stress among. And the letter A is going to say the schwa, so it's an mung. And then I'll write mung like this because it has, again, another schwa, a stress schwa, and an ng sound, among, and then another schwa, us, among us. This one could be stressed or unstressed. The word us is going to have a stressed schwa by itself, but among us. If I'm saying he's been among us for a long time, among is going to get the stress. If I say just among us, then I'm going to be stressing us because it's a different meaning. So basically the same vowel, schwa, all the way through. And then among us, just making sure that you don't have a little G sound in there, that you go right from the NG into the next vowel, the next schwa. Okay, and then if we have time later in the class today, I'll cover one more request that came in over the week, but I want to make sure I get to your requests and answer those questions first and foremost because you're here live. So Dana would like to know about latte, mate, and camel or caramel? Camel? You wrote camel, so you can verify that. I was just thinking the latte and mate would be maybe ordered at the coffee shop. And so that made me think of caramel. Okay, so latte is vowel ah, first syllable stress, latte, latte. And we do use an aspirated T in this word. I don't say latte, doesn't turn into a flap, latte, maybe because of the two T's or maybe because of that little stress mark on the te. But we don't really say latte, we don't stress the te, latte. I would say we probably have somewhat equal stress across those two syllables. And the te is the A diphthong, latte. And then, oh, you're asking about matte. So like matte and glossy. I was thinking there's a drink. What is that? Mate, like this one, mate. Well, I don't know which one you're asking about. You wrote matte, which is, we have glossy and matte. Matte is like not shiny. And that's just the same as the name matte, black cat vowel. Mate, I think that's what it's called. It's that like the green tea beverage. And that is just like latte, but with an M. And then camel has black cat vowel, first syllable stress, and then going right from the M to the syllabic L. So maybe a little tiny schwa on there, dark L, camel. It's like other words that we've talked about that go right into that dark L. Okay, so if I got the right words, let me know, Dana, and if I didn't, feel free to correct me. Thank you for those requests. Yep, she did mean camel. Okay, great. So Halim, your first word, I saw your comment request for that word, and I'm going to say it's probably plesiochronous, just based on the rules of pronunciation. And so plesiochronous, probably stress on crow of Cronus. And then your second word, distribution, follows our rules as well, where we have second penultimate syllable stress. So second to last syllable stress. We have, this is a bew, so we have the glide in there, bew, and then our tion just as our shun syllable, distra. These are both unstressed and they both have the I vowel. So like distribution. This TR, when we have a TR blend in the middle that's unstressed, it's going to be a little bit like a flap, distribution. Not really D-like, but I don't really need to hit that T very hard either. Not distribution, but distribution. Okay, great word. I'm sure a lot of people need to say distribute and distribution. So thank you for that request, Halim. All right, Rose wants to know about some cooking related words, and I'm seeing bâtonnet, cut, and Brunoise cut. And I'm kind of guessing, I have to admit, I haven't seen these words before. So they're probably French cooking terms. And one thing you could look for in bâtonnet is if they have an accent mark anywhere, that's going to tell you where the syllable stress is, and it'll change the pronunciation. And then for Brunoise, I think they say noise, so it's kind of like noise, but then it runs together pretty quickly, noise. So that's basically descriptor saying like from that place, brunoise. So that would be like brunoise. I would definitely fact check me on this one. And I'm not sure, we can look in the dictionary. I'm not sure if they'll be in the standard dictionary given the French. And then I would guess that bâtonnet, I mean, it depends if you're going to do kind of more American or French pronunciation. Bâtonnet, I'm guessing that it's got an A ending, bâtonnet. And I'm, again, saying it kind of more with a French accent. So let me verify and double check on those for you, Rose, and we can bring it up in our next members class, because I think that they are of French origin and words that I'm guessing based on spelling and what I know about French loanwords in English, so may not be 100% accurate. And then lastly, minced garlic. I can be confident on that one. Minced garlic. So minced, the C says the S sound, and it looks like it could be two syllables, but because that S is voiceless, when I add the ED, it just makes the T sound. So it's just like minced with an I vowel, minced, one syllable, minced. And then garlic has first syllable stress, has the R diphthong. So R, garlic, minced garlic. Yep. Okay. I think a lot of us have been talking about cooking, thinking about cooking. So thank you for your requests, Rose. And sorry, I don't have more reliable and accurate information about those first two cooking terms you asked about. Dana wants to know about the vowel in the first syllable of pneumonia. So even though the spelling is strange of pneumonia, the first vowel is new. It's just like the word new, vowel oo. So pneumonia. So if I were to write that out, I would probably write it new like this, because sometimes people make the error of saying new with a glide, and it's just a new in this word, new, but not stress. So my stress goes here, new, moan, like the word moan, and then, pneumonia. Yes, unfortunately, that's another word that's on our that we're discussing these days, just generally with people's challenges with illness and breathing. So thank you, Dana, for that request. Tashi has a request for the word cappuccino. I think we all need some coffee today, right? Some lattes and cappuccinos. That sounds pretty nice. Although here, I'm sorry, I'm writing it incorrectly. Cappuccino. It's finally a sunny day in Seattle. We have had a lot of rain and gray days, so maybe I don't need coffee quite as much today as normally would. Cappuccino has second to last syllable stress, cappuccino. American pronunciation is going to be black cat vowel. So cap, just like cat, the a vowel, kappa. And then we just would use a schwa here, kappa. The CC tells us that's a CH sound, chi. And then we have the E, the tense E there, cappuccino. And we still use the clear vowel O at the end, cappuccino. Cappuccino. Yeah, okay. I like cappuccino. Thank you for that request. And that's actually something that's on my list for videos to create. So right now I'm working on a video with a lot of different food words, especially the ones that people find challenging to pronounce. So there's some of them that it's because of spelling. Some of them have some controversy because there's more than one correct pronunciation and people argue about that. At any rate, if you follow the channel, you've been seeing I've been adding some additional videos recently about different themes on different, not just our word of the day videos, but some other videos as well. So Cappuccino might need to go on that list. Okay, let's see. Muhammad is saying that his problem is pronouncing that dark L, and he always pronounces it as dark L. So are you saying that you have some difficulty with the light L at the start of words? So basically, let's just talk a little bit about dark and light L. When I'm saying a word like or light, I'm lifting the front of my tongue in the same spot that I do for the sounds T and N. An L is slightly different because sound escapes off the side, so it's a lateral sound. And when I say light, my whole tongue can lift up because I'm going right into the vowel. Like, letter, lake, they're all the same at the start of words. And also in the middle of some words, if it's the start of a syllable, you might have a light L, versus a word like tall or feel, the back of my tongue is not going to lift. I'm going to have a bit of a schwa before those L sounds. So I do have a video, and I'll put it in the comments when I'm doing the timestamp for this class, that talks about the dark L and the light L, and you might find that helpful, Mohammed. The light L, I would say, to try to get it, you might try something like saying the T sound and the N sound, and I would use some vowels. So I'd maybe say ta, na, la, la. See if la is maybe not the best one to use because for la, the back of my tongue is down more for that open ah. So maybe ti, li, ni. My whole tongue can lift up, and just the front lifts for that L sound. I would suggest that. Maybe that's a way to feel what's happening with those L's and help you develop that light L as well. I hope that helps. Thank you for that request. Hi, Javier. Let's see. He's asking about, is there a difference between mum, ma'am, and ma'am? So first of all, I'm going to say that Americans rarely use these. I often, people give me greetings like hello, ma'am, which is polite and acceptable, but not really commonly used in American English. We do sometimes say ma'am if we don't know someone's name and they're not a miss, they're not a younger woman. We might say, oh, excuse me, ma'am, to be polite, to get someone's attention. That's probably about the only time we use that in American English. Mum is something not very commonly used here. That's more British and other dialects of English. We would say mom to talk about someone's mother versus mum. There is a difference between mum and ma'am, and mum has vowel schwa, so it sounds like and these two are the same, and they have vowel a, like the black cat vowel. So ma'am and mum. Ma'am is more forward, mum is more central and relaxed. But typically, you're only going to use this in very limited situations in English and in American English, and not use that mum very much. You'll use more of a mom that has the open back ah vowel to talk about mothers. Yes. Okay. So thank you for that request and question, and for allowing me to talk a little bit about the use of those words as well. I'm going to go back to our original one more request that came in over the week, and this was a request about using contractions. So I have a number of videos about contractions, and I have a course called Real Talk that shows you how to use contractions, reductions, linking, how Americans really talk in spoken speech versus in written speech. You can check that out on speechmodification.com. That's going to be really helpful for these types of questions. But this viewer was specifically asking about what you, what do and did you, as in did you take care of it? So how to contract and reduce that. So for did you, I can either say that fully, did you, but it'll often become more like did ya. So the D and the ya, the D and the ya glide together, and they end up being more of a j sound. And then you often contracts to ya, the schwa comes in. So did you can become did ya, or did ya, like that. Informal speech, did you, it may be unprofessional to get too close to did you go, did you go. So depends on the context and what's being stressed in that one. When you're talking about did you take care of it, did you take care of it, I would say I would stick with did you, the just linking those but not changing the vowel sounds. And then what have you done? She's asking about what have you done? And that would change. The have would be contracted to a V. And so it would just be what of. And this, because it's going into a vowel instead of the H, instead of what, we're going to change that to more of a flap or a D. So what of ya. And then again, the U might get contracted to ya. What have you done? What have you done? You is also acceptable. This is one where I can use the ya in professional speech. It won't matter. Did ya is maybe just different because the other vowel, the consonant sounds change. She also asked about what would I do? And in that case, we wouldn't contract it because we're trying to say what would I do if I contracted. If I contract would, we only contract it in this tense where if I'm saying the future tense, like I would, subjunctive future, I would go becomes I'd go. But if it's what would I, we can't contract that because if it would be what'd, and then that actually means what did I. So this one, you have to use the full form. So at any rate, she's asking about a big category of contractions with question words, and I'm considering adding some additional videos to the Real Talk course and making some more Real Talk videos. But I think that if you use the current videos and you learn the rules of contracting and reducing words like have and you, and following the conventions for contractions are almost always used in American English. We rarely say out those helping verbs unless we're stressing them, and otherwise we contract them, and it makes it clear what the meaning is and where the stress lies. So thank you for that request, and I will probably be returning to that. You've seen, if you come to our Friday classes, that I often talk in the beginning about a Real Talk phrase just to help you listen for and understand the differences between spoken and written English. And that's one of the topics that I really love talking about and teaching about because I think it's so helpful for both listening and speaking. Many times when you're working on pronunciation, working on getting the correct sounds, the trade-off is that you lose a little bit of that fluency, that flow, that native speaker-like sound. And so using Real Talk techniques can really help you balance out getting correct pronunciation, but also how what you're really hearing around you when you're listening to native speakers and sounding more like a native speaker. So I'm going to just show you briefly that Real Talk course on our website. If you go to speechmodification.com, you can go to the online courses page. And for a general course about overall accent and pronunciation, I recommend my 6-week course. But if you're more advanced or if you're wanting to know more about that sort of Real Talk idea, then here's our Real Talk series. And you can see in the course that we talk about how to use the course, linking and reduce sounds. And then I walk you through a technique that you can use videos, I show you with TV shows and commercials, how you can practice and apply that technique, not just to what's in the course, but to anything you're listening to be listening for those differences, and then to use them both for understanding and for speaking. So check that out on speechmodification.com. I also want to let you know that I'm working on 2 new courses. One is going to be an entirely free course with videos from our YouTube channel that will help you look for and find sounds, words, real talk, all of the different things that we offer. And then the other new course is going to be about American English sounds. So we're going to go through every single vowel sound and consonant sound, give you accent error patterns you might make on those sounds, how to correct them, how to know what words they're in. So I'm really excited. I'm hoping to have those courses towards the end of this year or the beginning of January, and I'll let you know as those release. And the sounds course will be a course that you can purchase, and the videos course will be a free course for everyone, so no cost for that course. You can check out the current courses on speechmodification.com. All right, we have a question about the difference between the words tablet and pill in medicine. They mean somewhat the same, but a pill can cover both a tablet and a capsule. So the pill is the medicine that you take orally, swallowing. A tablet is usually one that's sort of shaped like that, and then a capsule, or a gel cap they call them sometimes, is one that is that shape. And that usually has a plastic coating. And this, these can be different shapes, but a tablet is more like a little round type of pill, and a capsule is more of the oblong type. And then pill is the broader word that we use for both tablets and capsules. Dana is asking, is it necessary to pronounce the L sound in always and all right, or is it okay to leave it out? That's a great question, Dana. So the word all has that dark L, and because the aw shape is pretty close to the back of my tongue for the dark L, all shape, in this word, I definitely close off to form the L, because otherwise it would sound kind of just more like aw, like the vowel, versus other dark L's I can sometimes cheat and not finish it. In always and all right, you can definitely get away with leaving that L out if you do all of the dark L tone in your vowel. So if I say all right or always without that tone, it doesn't sound correct. If I have to do close to the L to get that always, to get that correct dark L, then I should put the L in. But if I can say always, I'm not really lifting and closing and finishing that L so exactly. I'm using that aw vowel with kind of the coloring of the L, the dark L coloring. So yeah, listen for how it sounds, and if you can hear it doesn't sound right, then maybe finishing the L is important. But you will hear that in these words often that L is a little imprecise. It's more a coloring of the vowel sound than a true lifting of the tongue into the L position. You're so welcome. Thank you so much for all of the great questions today. We'll be back again tomorrow with our Word of the Day series, and Sundays are now our Phrase of the Week series. So we'll be covering an American English expression on Sunday to help you know about its meaning and use. And we'll have our next members class the following Sunday. So that'll be back for channel members. If you haven't learned yet about channel membership, you can click the join button and check it out. It just offers some additional options, extra videos and classes for our members. I'll be back again next Friday with our live question and answer class, and I look forward to seeing you then. If you have a question in the meantime, do feel free to leave it in the comments for me, and I'll make sure that I give you information and answers with videos we already have, or I'll add your question to my list to cover in a future class. Have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye, guys. Thank you.